Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be back up here with an amazing woman in leadership. We are going to have Dr. Charlene Rainey Bell with us, and I'm super excited. It's going to be truly, truly amazing. And so, this is the Power and Grace Leaders Show. My name is Chavon Anette, and I'm the creator of New Beginnings, where I boldly serve to educate, elevate, and empower women in the area of leadership. I believe that women should lead with both power and grace, and I am on a mission to eradicate fears of uncertainty with identity and purpose so that women can lead with courage, with confidence, and with character. So we are going to go ahead and bring in Dr. Bell. So, ladies and gentlemen, hello, Dr. Bell. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was like, who's she talking about?
You.
Who are these women? Who is this woman? I need to meet her.
I am just so honored that you were willing to be a part of the show today. And we are in this kind of unforeseen set of circumstances.
Yeah.
But God is still showing himself mighty and showing himself strong. Yes, so faithful. And so I'm excited that we are here together. So before we get into the first question, I would love for you to just begin by introducing yourself. And we're going to be able to get really into who you are today, but you can just start by introducing yourself.
Well, my name is Charlene. But as a profession, everyone knows me as Dr. Charlene Rainey Bell. I'm a licensed family nurse practitioner here in the Hampton Roads area. I recently opened.
Yes.
I'm super excited about that. Last year, July, called Convenient Healthcare VA. We're located at 2208 Executive Drive, Suite C, Hampton, Virginia, 23666. Not only do I love taking care of patients as a nurse practitioner, it is my passion. I've been in healthcare. I've been a nurse practitioner since 2016, but I've been a nurse since 2011. Goodness.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was a Navy corpsman. So I've been in healthcare well over, you would say almost 20 years.
Wow.
Now, and I'm a smooth 38. So I'm super excited about that. I'm also the owner and founder of Her Padded Truth, which is a nonprofit organization that helps to provide women who are homeless, living in impoverished conditions, and also in transition with menstrual hygiene products. Statistically, women who are homeless, there's a vast majority of women who are homeless who don't have access to menstrual hygiene products.
Right.
So about 63% in this Virginia were homeless.
Wow.
Half of them were female, and they were of menstruating ages. So you want to think roughly around 25% of that homeless population did not have menstrual hygiene products. So what is use unsafe products such as napkins, old rags, old socks, even newspaper, or they would use cardboard and make it into a makeshift pad in order to catch their menstrual flow. And when they do that, when you use those unhealthy products to your most intimate area, it causes infection. So you see an increase in bacterial vaginosis, in rashes, and also toxic shock syndrome due to leaving tampons in for extended periods of time because they don't know when they're going to get the next tampon.
Wow.
So what I decided to do was I said, I'm going to help to eradicate that. Also something called menstrual poverty. And many people don't know that.
Wow.
So poverty basically means you do not have access, or you don't have access to menstrual hygiene products. And I remember seeing a woman on my way to Chickasee to get me some chicken gizzards. And I remember seeing a woman walking down the street, and it was apparent that she had some mental health issues, but she had on a pair of gray jogging sweatpants, and on the back was nothing but blood. And people were walking and pointing and staring, and nobody was doing anything. So I immediately said, hey, come in the car. Forget about my safety. I just want to make sure she's okay. And I got her some pads, found her somewhere where she can wash up, and I got her some help from mental health help. So many women, it's sad because when you go to your local McDonald's, you go there for food. and something to eat, not knowing that there can be a woman in the next stall right next to you using a cup of warm water to wash out her vagina over the toilet because she doesn't have access to clean water.
Wow.
So my job is to provide menstrual hygiene products to those that are in need. I take donations and all of that. But as of today, we started back in 2017. I have distributed well over 18,000 menstrual hygiene products
Oh my goodness.
from South Rabina, Africa,
Wow.
all the way down to the Eastern Shore. So we're international now. Woo-hoo!
Yes. Woo.
Really trying to fight the fight on menstrual poverty and really have menstrual equity come into play. And the great thing is now there was a law that passed that we as women don't have to pay taxes on our menstrual hygiene products ever again. So I'm excited.
Wow. Yes.
We made a lot of noise. A group of collective of people made a lot of noise and brought to light this initiative, and Congress passed it. So I'm really excited to see what happens next. They also passed that schools in the state of Virginia must, from I think it's grades 6 through 12, have to provide free menstrual hygiene products to schools because they were not. So
Wow.
I'm super excited about what we do at Her Padded Truth and all the great things that we're doing and people who are involved.
Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. And to hear you be able to articulate it so well, it shows how much you have educated yourself, how passionate you are about it. And that makes all the difference in the world. And I'm all about what you're passionate about, what you want to bring change to. That is a part of your purpose, and you are walking in it. And I'm so excited. That is just so amazing. It is truly amazing. So we have already got so much from Dr. Bell. So I'm excited about continuing the interview.
Okay.
So my first question is, where did the passion to work in the medical field really originate?
Oh, wow. So since I was young, okay, I've only wanted to be two things in life. And that was an OBGYN and I wanted to be a lawyer. And I said, if I'm an OBGYN, that is great. If I become a lawyer as well, then if anybody was to sue me, I can represent myself and I can get paid twice, right? So I was like, oh, great. Who would want to? And then I actually watched a documentary about OBGYNs. And one of the doctors talked about how long he was going to have to be in school. He was like, yeah, 12 years. I was like, oh my gosh, by time I'm a doctor, this is what I said.
Right.
I'll be in my 30s. That's so old. Right?
Right.
So I decided, okay, I don't know if I want to be a doctor, but I know I want to deliver babies. So then I went on this whole journey of wanting to become a midwife and things of that nature. And anytime anybody was hurt or sick, any of my animals that was hurt or sick, I was doing autopsies on. Like, I think this fish died because it had too many fish pellets. That is my diagnostic observation. Or the reason why this turtle had a demise is because it walked into the street. Now I'm writing up the whole autopsy report. It's always been a part of me that loved medicine, that loved helping people. It's funny, as far back as I can remember, I was actually talking to my mother not too long ago. My mother was like, did you know that you come from a long line of midwives? And I was like, no wonder. I just want to scoop people up and speak words of wisdom into their life and help birth them through their process. And it's spiritual as well, because as an evangelist, that's what I feel I do with my personal ministry. So I don't prescribe to any other, I'm this type of minister, I'm that. I'm awkward and quirky all the time. Okay. All right. A word of God from me is going to include a movie, and you're going like, oh my gosh. I'm like, see, that's how God's working in your life. You're like, I see it now, But in regards to medicine, it just came natural. Helping people came natural. Finding out what the cause of disease is, and then seeing that my method worked. That's what actually made me stay in medicine, to see that there was a patient that wasn't feeling well. I gave them they followed my treatment plan and got better and said, oh, I thank you, because the treatment that you gave me, it actually worked.
Wow.
So it piqued my interest more and more of wanting to become a provider. Now, at first, I was a floor nurse, and I enjoyed being a floor nurse. I worked in dialysis, which is not for everybody, but for this girl, it was great. I worked in dialysis where I would work with patients that had to stay on the machine for anywhere between 3 to 6 hours a day,
Wow.
3 days a week. Talk about being the only minister that they would see on a day. Okay? So here I am, and I don't consider what I do a job. It is a ministry to me. Here I am ministering to these patients. I see them more than they see their family.
That's true.
So from there, I just knew that I didn't just want to follow out orders that doctor was giving me, but I wanted to be the one that was in charge of treatment. I wanted to have holistic approaches when it came to preventable diseases versus just giving you a pill. So I see that you have high blood pressure. Okay, so before I'm just going to throw this lisinopril down your throat, have you made any conscious lifestyle changes?
Come on.
How about we start there first? I'm going to give you 30 strong days. That's all I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you 30 days, okay? 30 days. And depending on what your disease status is, you may get a 90-day goal. But let's see how you do following these steps. And if we notice change, then I know good and well you possibly don't need to be on that medication.
Wow.
It's a lifestyle change that you have to do. And if I can help you make that lifestyle change, let's go ahead and go for it. So for me, medicine, though it is a practice, it is a ministry for me. I have patients that come in my office, and I think the greatest, and I hope I'm not getting off track.
No, this is great.
For me, I had a patient who was battling a lot of mental health things. This particular patient had a traumatic event that happened in their life and called me because they needed resources.
Wow.
As the patient is talking to me, he says, Dr. Bell, I didn't know who else to call. I knew to call you because you are a woman of faith.
My goodness.
He said, I know you're a woman of faith. And even if you can't find any resources for me, will you pray for me? Listen.
Wow.
For me, everyone talks about being an entrepreneur, and that's like the new word. Oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. It sounds good.
Right.
And the reasoning behind it for me is that as an entrepreneur, is it about the money? I want to make coin. Okay. Right. I want to get my cash. I want to do that. Of course. I want to live. I want to continue to render my tithe at the substantial amount I'm doing. I'm trying to beat that.
I know that's right.
However, for me being an entrepreneur, it allows me to pray for my patients. I have my own practice. Nobody can tell me, oh, stop praying for them. Nobody can say that to me. I can pray over my patients. I can go in full-blown tongues with my patients.
Come on.
No one's saying, oh, hey, we don't do that here. At this practice, we do.
We do.
It is a disclaimer that when you come to Convenient Healthcare VA, okay, that this clinic is covered under the blood. So if you walk in it, at that time, you are covered too.
I know that's right.
And it allowed me to pray with him.
Yeah.
And to hear him weep on the other end of the phone. It did something to me because, one, I felt good. I felt good because God told me pray. And I was like, no, I don't know about that. I felt good because I did pray. But I felt bad because here was a gentleman. I felt bad because, unfortunately, due to COVID-19, the resources that he needed, he couldn't get because everything was shut down.
Wow.
So the only thing I could hope was that my prayer
Come on.
sustained him until resources opened up. And the funny thing is, he contacted me. I wound up finding a number, gave him the number. I said, I hope that this works for you. I said, I'm sorry I couldn't do better. I'm feeling like a failure, okay? A total failure. And 3 weeks later, I get a message saying, I just want to let you know that thank you so much for the prayer. I got my son back, and I'm now staying with someone temporarily. I still want to find my own place, but I just want to let you know I'm not on the street.
Wow.
And that just did something to me, because at times as providers, we feel inadequate. I can't nobody else, but for me, I feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Like, did I do the right thing? Was that the right diagnosis? Am I saying it in a way that they understand? Sometimes as providers, we have this jargon, and it's all these big words like, well, looking at your A&A, I'm looking at your H&H. I can tell that, that maybe, you may need to be on, some sort of medication that's going to help to decrease the inflammation. Now you're like, I got inflammation. I'm dying. You have providers that will talk. Talk
over your head.
And a lot of times, for some, they enjoy using the $2 words, but for others, it's like, this is how I was trained, but for me, sometimes I feel inadequate as a provider. Did you understand what I said? Was I talking down to them? I hope they don't think I was talking down to them. I remember my first office was in Hampton. I done took over your whole spot. Sorry.
No, this is good.
I'm going to show you how the enemy works on even the most elite and educated.
Right.
There ain't no respect to nobody. Nope.
Sure not.
My first office that I had, I opened a practice in July. Found my first office in August, September. It was a one room that I divided. Yeah. Half was going to be the exam room. The other half was going to be my office, right? It was on top of an automotive shop. Okay, Walls Automotive off King Street. You had to go up these black metal stairs and bang on the door in order for me to hear you to come to my office.
Wow.
Upstairs in that space was a guy who did radio, a security place that would shoot fake pellet guns in the hallway.
My goodness.
I remember had a patient, never forget it. It was at 6 p.m. I had 4 patients that day because I was doing evening clinic. And I remember I was 7 minutes late. I pride myself on being on time. I do not like patients wait for me. If anything, I'll take you early. But I don't like being late. And I remember I was 7 minutes late and I'm like, oh gosh. But the patient that I was in with was in distress and needed to talk. And I knew how it was to be cut off. People cutting you off. Now, mind you, I am the MA. I am the check-in girl. I'm the checkout girl. I'm the lab tech. I'm it all, right?
Yeah.
I remember finally finishing with the patient. I asked the patient, can you excuse me? Let me check in my next patient. Went to check in the next patient. She looked around. I was like, hi, my name is Dr. Bell. I have a patient right now. They're running over a little bit, but in the next 5 minutes, I'll be done and I'll come out and see you. I said, here's your new member paperwork. Please fill that out. Smiling.
Right.
Everything. And she looked around and I went back to see my patient. I let my patient go. I was in time, total of 5 minutes. So I'm looking for her. I'm like, Miss such and such and such and such. So I run outside to open the door. And I'm like, oh, I'm ready for you now. She was like, oh, no, I'm good. In that instance, I felt like a failure. I felt as if she looked at my circumstances. What is the message here?
Come on.
She looked at my current circumstance. Looked at what the area looked like. Looked at the carpet on the floor and looked at, oh, there's an automotive shop around the corner. And already made a preconceived notion of how I would treat her as a provider. Now, isn't that funny? We do the same thing spiritually.
Mm.
But we look at a person, and because they don't look a certain way, oh no, there ain't no God in you. You don't know him. You know of him, but you don't. Oh, you ain't in him. You around him, and it was for weeks. My husband could tell you for weeks. I was just like, I was proud of my little office.
Right.
And immediately, I was embarrassed by the gift that God gave me.
Wow.
Girl, listen, talk about the incense, sackcloth, okay? I became embarrassed about the very thing that God gave me. It was to say the least, it wasn't the best. So, but I mean, I love what I do. I enjoy healthcare and I enjoy taking care of people.
Yeah, and I love how much you are giving us at one time. And I don't want you to at any moment think I'm giving too much right now. However, the Lord leads you to flow on this show, go ahead and flow. But I love this because you are basically saying you merge your faith in your business. It is all together. It is your ministry. And that is so beautiful that you are able to take a medical profession and be able to merge the business in your faith for a ministry so that God can get the glory. Because I really believe that is what God is looking for his people to do in whatever marketplace area that they are called to, for him to be glorified. And I love that you brought up the medical jargon that can happen sometimes, because I have been at the doctor's office before and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I catch one word and I'm like, wait, what? And it's like, just to know that you're saying, I want to make sure I'm being conscientious of how I'm speaking to my patients so that they understand. And I think that is amazing. And so then, through this, you're really giving us your testimony and your story. And you're really going into some of the questions that I already had in mind. So it's all working out anyways. It's all working out anyways. So that is really, really beautiful. And so my next question for you is, and you talked about it a little bit, but what made you, and what was the process of launching Her Padded Truth? You gave us the background of the why you're passionate about it. How was that process? Because maybe someone is interested in starting a nonprofit, but they have no idea what to do. What do you feel like the heart behind it should be when you're starting a nonprofit? And then how was that process?
So, I had a really great friend to help me with my nonprofit because my ideas were all over the place and I wanted to save the world. I was on a period mission and I had a cape and a shirt and I was going to cure every menstrual issue in the world. I think the biggest thing or misconceptions are all the tax breaks. No, you do not have to actually have a 501c3 in order to get donations from people or just to do good. You don't.
That's good. So,
and what I also learned through the process is that not everything is a nonprofit or nonprofit worthy. Some things are passion organizations and people are donating to that cause. Now, if you're receiving large quantities of money, then I can understand, I really would like to do a 501c3. But to be quite honest, you really don't need one just to do good, just to do good things.
That's true.
For me, my passion project, it started because I saw that there was an issue.
Right.
And I didn't see anyone or knew of anyone that was doing anything in my area, so to speak. So you may have had some churches that were doing food pantry and they may have had some pads and things of that nature. Or people are always doing something for the homeless. However, I wanted specifically.
Yes.
That's what made my niche so inviting to people. Because I wasn't just what people would call say, hey, I got some body soaps. And I was like, I don't need soap. I need pads, tampons, and wipes.
Right.
My lane. Because there's other people who do soap. And I don't want to, no. Because then before you know it, now I'm getting handbags. And, now I'm getting, The biggest thing is write the vision and make it plain. The Bible states that. So that's what I tried to do.
That's good.
I knew that. I think the biggest part for me was finding all the jargon that goes along with it. The woman who helped me, she is awesome. Her name is Dr. Shamira Webb. She is phenomenal. Find her somewhere on Facebook. Shamira Webb, find her. She was very instrumental in helping me streamline my ideas. Okay, so what is the processes that you want?
Yeah.
I think that's important. Making sure the name will come. For me, I work backwards, even with my sermons, right? So first downloads the topic. I get the topic first. Well, the introduction. I'm like, oh, okay. And then everything else follows. Some people are not like that. They have to write paper and then get the title. Me, no. Once I have the title, now I know which one.
That's me.
So that's how it works for me. But I have to say, God has truly been engineering and intertwining, in every facet of my life, because for many people, it takes up to 6 months it could take up to 6 months, I think, or so to get your nonprofit approved.
Right.
I was approved within 2 months.
Come on.
It takes I think a year to a year and a half to actually have anything copywritten. I was able to get Her Padded Truth copywritten, and it was within 6 months.
Wow.
God has shown me expedited favor of my life at times where I didn't even think of it. It's coming to me now, like, thank you, Jesus. But I wasn't thinking of it. But I would say for anyone that wants to do a nonprofit, really ask yourself why. If there are other areas or other people that are doing the same nonprofit as you're doing, that you're thinking of, why not teaming up with them? And it leads me to think, if there's another nonprofit in your area that is doing something similar or identical to what you're thinking, why haven't you teamed up with them? Could it be a pride thing? Could it be because own? Could it be, I want to say that I did it? Ultimately, it's not about you. It's about the people that you're helping. So if it's about the people that you're helping, it shouldn't matter how it gets done. But a lot of times, it's that fleshly part of us that want the notoriety with it, to say, I did blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So it happens that Dr. Charlene Rainey Bell only cared about periods. So it's important this is a season of collaboration.
Come on, I believe that.
Together and not saying, well, she's doing it too. I saw a meme about a bread aisle, and it was an aisle. It had all these different people who had bread, right? Who had bread. And I'm looking like, you got Martin's, you got Wonder Bread. These are no plugs from them breads, just so y'all know. You got potato bread. You have all these bread distributors, but they're all on the same aisle. What does that tell you? They're all bread, and everybody still got in the store. So it leads me to believe there's room for everybody at the table. Everybody can eat.
That's true.
In this season, I don't think that COVID is just something that just happened. No, I don't. I believe that things happen divinely and strategically, whether good or bad, and that we'll learn from them. But I can say, since the pandemic hit, I've had new patients every single day sign up for my program. Now, before it hit, it was trickling slowly.
Right.
I had patients, but new patients. I opened a whole new business I moved into a brand new practice right in the middle of a pandemic.
Whew.
1,000+ square foot space.
Wow.
The little 300 and some odd space that I had, So I look at that to say, well, go back to the whole collaboration thing when it comes to a nonprofit. Do your research. And if you cannot do it, don't be cheap. Pay somebody that can.
That's good.
What you want is the state to send you back your stuff for revisions. Come back. Send it back again for revisions, to the point they're saying, you know what? I really don't think that this is really going to be a good nonprofit. We're just going to tell her no. Nope. All the 501c3 status gets you is tax exempt. So if you want to go to Walmart and buy something for the nonprofit, then you don't pay taxes for it. You can't buy your living room set and then try to use your nonprofit.
That's true.
The living room set is going to be for the nonprofit. Somebody will always find them. Yeah.
That is so good. You gave us so many nuggets once again. Tarita put up here expedited favor. And I'm sitting here taking notes as you go. I love that so much. Expedited favor. And what I loved about what you said is that in a place where it would seem like everything is falling apart, God is blessing your business in the midst of it. And so that's just God, all God.
It's funny. So I just thought, like I said, we haven't even been a year yet. Just moved into a new space. And then boom, COVID hits.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Jesus. Like, what in the world? Like, what am I supposed to do now? So everyone has these loans, like apply for this grant, apply for that grant, apply for this grant. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to apply. Let's see what happens. Now, you have businesses that have been out there for years. And when I say years, 5 years in, 7 years, they have taxes, tax returns, employees, everything.
Right.
So here I am. I'm an employee of 1.5. Okay. My husband, myself, and then our biller, so 3 people.
Right.
Haven't done our taxes yet because everything hit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta do taxes. And I receive a grant for $3,000.
My God. Come on, Jesus.
So I was looking up. I called my husband. I said, what? Hey, something dropped into the business account. You need to check that out because, I'm not. He's like, what is it? I was like, it says that I got a $3,000 credit.
Thank you, Lord.
Grant.
Oh my goodness.
Where it from?
Whew.
I say that because it's a part in the Bible that says, even the least of these, I consider myself in the least category.
Wow.
And it wasn't the fact that I was awarded the grant. It was the fact I took that as God saying, I told you I got you.
Yes.
I started to second guess, do I really need to be in this practice? What will people think if I close? Like, what if I told them I could just work for somebody 9 to 5 and not worry. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to work for nobody. But still, I won't have to deal with all the obligation and the pressure. And I notice a lot of times as Christians, and I can speak for myself, I notice a lot of times when things got really, really difficult, I was just like, no, I'm going to go another route. I'm going to go another route. That way is going to be easier. I'll still get it. But if I do it this way, it'll just be and that's not what God wants. He doesn't want it to be better on me. There's obviously something I have to learn through it. I don't want to learn. I can be honest. I don't want to learn no more. I'm tired of matriculating now. You're like you got degree after degree after degree. It's like that Kanye West. What's going to keep me warm at night? Those degrees. Like, I'm tired, But in it, God has such a way of, even if you don't understand it in that instant,
right,
it comes back to you. Like, as I'm talking to you right now, I'm like, dang, God, you really love a girl, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm telling you, God is just amazing. But Do your research if you want to get a nonprofit and contact Shamira Rhodes Webb.
Yes, yes. And we can add her name in the comments later,
Yes.
just so they can link up with her. That's so amazing.
Yes.
So my next question is, what have been some things that you've really had to overcome, whether internally or externally, to do all that you're doing? And I know the list could go on for days, all the things that God has brought you through for you to walk in it. But if you can think of some of them just to share with us, because we're already getting so much from you. And so what things have you really had to overcome to do what you're doing?
Well, first, I need to ask, how long is your broadcast supposed to be? I ain't trying to go over.
Don't worry about it. We're going to stay up here and get all these nuggets. I'm not worried about it.
Oh, man. So, goodness. Okay, repeat the question again. That way I can, get it.
Okay. So what are some things that you had to overcome, whether internally or externally, to be walking in your purpose like you are, with your convenient healthcare and her padded truth, and even being a minister of the gospel? So what are some things that you've had to overcome internally or externally that maybe some other people are dealing with, but God has brought you through that stage or that place in your life?
Identity.
Yeah.
My identity. And I'm still dealing with it.
Yes.
My identity. The long lost question. What is my purpose in life? God, what is it I'm supposed to be doing? Like, what am I? What is it? My identity. 4 years growing up, I dealt with rejection. I've dealt with sexual molestation by family member. I dealt with an orphan spirit, the spirit of rejection, an orphan spirit, the spirit of needing to be needed, which was manipulative. And in dealing with these issues, I'm like, oh, that's just how you grew up. I don't like confrontation, but I'm confrontational. Ain't that crazy? Like, I don't, and I think this is what it is. All my life, I've always felt the need to defend myself.
Right.
That's what I mean. No, that's not what I meant. I mean, do that all the time. Always have to find a way to defend myself so that people can truly understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
I want to say about 2 years ago, I became overly exhausted with explaining myself. So when confrontation would arise, I just wouldn't deal with it. I just couldn't.
Wow.
Like, I can't. Because it took so much out of me to try to give you what it is I'm trying to say, I noticed I would back away from certain things. If someone said something to me that was totally out of pocket, I would just grin and bear it because I'm a Christian. I'm an evangelist and a leader in the church, and I have to be the example. But on the inside of me, I'm like, yo, you should have gave her that straight New York right there. You should have gave her the word that were deep down in your belly, just one good time. So struggling with my identity and who I was in God, who God called me to be. So I had this thing where I didn't look and I didn't act and I didn't even approach the text or word of God like some other ministers, leaders would do. So I compared myself. Comparison kills. So
it does.
Because I felt like I was not qualified to be who God called me to be because of the circumstances that I had. So I'm like, why would God want some sexually abused, ADHD, asthmatic to listen, asthmatic to do that? Listen, I got my pump right now just in case I got too happy. But why would God even want to use me? Like, look at me. I'm not perfect. Like, why would he? What is it about me that God sees something in? I always, and people get on me, I call myself a misfit.
Wow.
I'm a misfit. That's what I am. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of God's little awkward entity that I am, you know? And it took a long time, long time. And it's still a daily, not a struggle, but it's still a daily reminder that, Charlene, you are the way you are because God made you that way.
That's right.
For some reason, I just couldn't believe that. Like, no, God, I have to be better. There's no way. Like, I have to be better. Like, God, no, I need to know scriptures like the back of my hand. I need to throw out some strong concordance. Like, I need to know. And then I went through this whole phase of, okay, I need to learn what them key scriptures are. You know, them, that way I can have them off the top of my head. I had a dream one night. It was years ago. I was on the bank of like this river. It was myself, and it was 7 other ministers that I know. Okay, pastors, evangelists, ministers, deacons, and they all had rocks in their hand. Ooh, boy, this is gonna be good. I hope y'all. I hope I look blurry. If I look blurry, just listen to my voice. We all had rocks, and we're all at the bank of the river. Now, I'm a city girl. I'm from New York. We don't chuck no rocks. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that. What we do is we take a can of string beans, put it by the fire hydrant, and get a fountain. That's what we do. Okay, we don't fall. That's what we do in the Bronx. But we're all on the bank of this river, and they're all chucking their rocks, right? Now, their rocks are nice and smooth and white. I'm like, okay. And everybody's rock pile is in front of them. So they're all looking at their rocks. I look down at my rock. My rock's some balled up little. My rock is porous. It's ugly. And this looks like sea foam. It looked like somebody put it together. Everyone's chucking their rocks, and their rocks are just skipping. They're dancing on the water, Chavon, dancing like, yay, we're making it to the other side. So here I go. Boom, my rock just falls. I said, what? I'm like, okay, I'm not chucking it right. Okay. So I'm looking at everyone in their stance. So I'm standing how they're standing. I got my wrist how they got their wrist. And I'm throwing my rocks. And my rocks just, boom, they don't go far. So after about 5 times of doing that, I get extremely frustrated because I see the other people who are in leadership, who are leaders, and we have the anointing and we serve the same God, and we're supposed to be the example. Why is it that my rock's not skipping across this daggone creek? And immediately God said, he said, because those rocks are people. When they throw their rocks, those are the people. Those are how far the people they need to reach. Your rock fell right here. These are the people you need to reach.
Wow.
So I'm like, no, I want to go out. And not really even thinking. I hope that makes sense to some people.
Yeah.
But not even really considering that. No, Charlene, you always hear there's a certain group of people that you are called to, right?
Yeah.
You never know who those group of people are.
Right.
But for me, I noticed that the people that cling to me or cleave to me, some good, some bad, but that are drawn to me are those who have been rejected, those that have been cast out, those that feel like they have something to prove, those who are overachievers because they feel like they have something to prove, those who are orphaned and who have an orphan spirit, those people, I'm always around that. And I can't say that it's a bad thing. I had to learn as part of my ministry not to sit in sorrow with them, but pull them into glory.
Yes.
So pull them out of the sorrowful place and pull them into a place of glory. It's funny how the enemy, I would do this in my spiritual journey. I'll be good, then I'll drop. I'll be good and drop. And I'm like, I don't have no momentum. I said, but at least I'm consistent. I'm consistent, right? But I was like, God, why is it, it seems like I keep doing the same test over. Like, am I not passing? Like, why am I keep remediating? And it was funny. It's like, you're not remediating. It's just there's a new group of people that need to see you go through it and know that they can go through it. So I was like, you can use somebody else as an example. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to use me all the time. But I count it as an honor because people look at me and say, oh my gosh, you do so much. You do so much. You do everything. How do you do it? Oh my. And I look at them and I say, I feel like I'm not doing anything though. Isn't that how the enemy works?
Yeah.
Where in my mind, I don't feel like I've arrived anywhere. And I don't think I ever will feel that way. I have 5 degrees, 5 whole ones.
Goodness.
And 3, I did it to spite people in my family that told me I wasn't going to be nothing.
Wow.
I was like, watch. I'm going to show you. And until a few years later, a few years ago, I was in my kitchen on the floor, balled up, crying. Because I was like, God, I don't understand. Like, why are you not talking to me? Like, everybody else says, I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, I'm like, well, I don't hear you. Like, I don't hear your voice. I don't hear nothing. And my husband came in. He was like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't hear God. Everybody's hearing him. They hear him online. I'm not hearing him. And Damien was like, my husband was like, babe, if you heard a big booming voice in your head, what do you think you would do? I said, I would think I was crazy. He said, so why would God talk to you in a way that would scare you?
Yeah.
He said, where do you get revelation from? I was like, I don't be revelating. I was like, where do you get revelation from? I was like, I don't know. He was like, every time you watch a movie or you hear a song, you always see something. And I was like, that's just my imagination. He said, no, that's the creative side of God.
Yes.
So we look at God as just master, savior, father, but not creative.
Come on.
And if God was able to create stars, I watched something, and I watched something on Netflix called Absurd Planet. And in Absurd Planet, you know how we see all these beautiful dolphins and blah, blah, blah. But on Absurd Planet, you see all the ugly animals that you like, ew, what's the purpose of them? And last night we were watching it. And I said to my husband, I was like, what is the purpose of, I think I asked him, what is the purpose of a dung beetle? I was like, I don't even see the purpose of a dung beetle. And it was this African fox that eats dung beetles. So I was like, what is the purpose of a dung beetle? He said, so that the fox can eat. Girl.
Wow.
Because I was like, why would God create a dung beetle? Like, what was the purpose of that? And my husband, so nonchalantly, he said, so the foxes can eat. What? Mm-hmm. I said, prophet now, you better do that. Like I said, so back to the story. A few years ago, I'm balled on the floor. I am crying in my kitchen. I'm begging God to talk to me. I'm going over all the bad things that's ever happened to my life, from my molestation, from everything, from the beatings, from being abandoned, from feeling ugly. Like, it took me years to grow into this, pretty much.
Wow. Beautiful.
And to say to myself, girl, you look good.
Right.
Right? And my husband explained it like this. He said, Charlene, he said, all your life, you have been 3 characters. You've been Charlene Bell, you've been Charlene Gordon, because I was married previously, and you've been Charlene Rainey. He said, so you've been playing 3 roles in your life. Mm-hmm. He said, and throughout that time, everyone that's in your life has been supporting actors. I was like, what? He said, this whole time, you thought that you were the supporting actor in this whole thing of your life that you were going through. not noticing you are the lead role. And everyone and every incident in your life, my God, are supporting factors.
Wow.
And whether the scene was a bad scene or not, it was their job to act that way in that scene so that you could get to where you are.
Come on.
And if we could kind of take, I'm very imaginative. I see certain things. I can tell you this side note. If you ever watch the cartoon Homeward Bound, no, the Fox and the Hound, you'll see nothing but God in it.
Wow.
Nothing but God in the Fox and the Hound. I kid you not. It's beautiful. But when he said that, something kind of clicked. I stopped feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And I started to notice that if I am the lead in this story, then everyone else's movements are governed by the lead.
Right.
The lead is not governed by the supporting actor.
Right.
They're there to support. Everything that's ever happened in my life had to propel me to right now talking to you on Power and Grace Leader Show.
Yeah.
That was the only way that it will work.
Yeah.
And though we look at a lot of our circumstances as, oh my gosh, like, why did it have to happen to me? I understand now that it had to happen to me so that I could help someone else so that it doesn't have to happen to. So does that mean that unfortunately, I had to take the brunt load of it? Yeah, I had to get the short end of the stick. But now, sis, you don't have to. Or now, bro, you don't have to. You know? So it's amazing. Someone asked me, I think it was I want to say earlier this year. Earlier this year, I had to put to rest, consummate to the earth, say goodbye to my rapist. I was conflicted of whether I would, let me say my abuser, politically, but, I was conflicted with whether I shouldn't go, because it was a part of me that was like, no, go. And I'm like, what? This man did all kinds of stuff to me. Why on earth would I go to his funeral? For what? I'm good. He did what he did. I'm saved. I got baptized. I'm okay. But it kept gnawing at me. I asked my husband, like, nope, you ain't doing that. Nope. Cancel that out. And he's like, that's just one L you're going to have to take at the gate. Like me. I asked my brother. He's like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. He's like, don't do it. He said, if you do it, they're going to have you do more stuff. Blah, blah, blah. I asked my good friend. She's like, no, I don't think that it's good. I think that it will open up more wounds, blah, blah, blah. I think it will bring back some bad memories. Needless to say, I went.
Yeah.
I went. I didn't shed a tear. But they asked me to sing. Girl.
Wow.
And at that time, I really was like, God, why would you even put me in this? Like, no, why should I do that? No, like, no. And it was like, you think you've forgiven something.
Yeah.
You're put in the situation to forgive.
Right.
And at that moment, as I was singing, I just felt like a weight lifted off of me that I thought had left. It's funny. The enemy at times will have you bury things.
Yeah.
But it's not destroyed.
Good.
And just because it's buried doesn't mean that it can't be resurrected. You need that thing destroyed so that it can't come back again.
That's right.
So a lot of areas, my ex-husband leaving, that was just buried. I was like, I got a new one. And we're plant a flower over the dead thing, But was it destroyed? Was the pain destroyed? It was. I remember 2 years ago, my ex-husband's supposed to be fiance had called and asked if it was all right if our son could be in the wedding. And I was like, I don't even know who you are. She was like, yeah, I just wanted to call because I know he didn't call, and I wanted to be a surprise. And boy, I rose up. I was like, first off, so I knew even though I buried it, it wasn't destroyed.
Right.
So a lot of times we say we're over things. Oh no, I'm over it spiritually. I'm over it. It's under my feet. No, it is in a nice box.
My goodness.
Right, where it can still live in, but you just don't see. And we do that with a lot of our problems, where we'll seal it up in a nice airlock container. Okay, that way it still has life in the event it comes back up again, but we're gonna bury it so we don't see it.
Right.
I got tired of questioning who I was, and I got tired of people questioning who I was. So then I started to take on other personalities, unbeknownst to me, because I'm like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to act like.
Yeah.
And God said, when you do, like, that's how I was supposed to talk. Or I was supposed to chuckle every time I said something prophetic. Like, but that's not me.
Right.
At the instance, that wasn't funny.
Right.
So it's so, when you are orphaned, I can talk for me, when having that orphan spirit and that spirit of rejection, because you want to be wanted and you need to be needed, sometimes you will attract, or you will take on a character to be liked and to be loved.
Yeah.
Because in some way it makes you feel better about yourself. In reality, you really don't feel good about yourself. You're just putting off everyone else's energy in the room.
Right.
There's time I was in a room, I'm the life of the party, and I'm just dead inside. But you wouldn't know it because I'm the life of the party. And that's how people walk this earth.
That's true.
I've made up in my mind that I don't know every book in the Bible.
Yeah.
I've made up in my mind that there may be a few I do know. I may not know them verbatim, but you'll get the gist of what it is I'm trying to say.
Yes.
In my mind that, I don't pray how everyone else prays.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, people, I listen to Pastor John Hannah pray, and he's like, from the inner bowels of our existence. I'm like, man.
Right.
Inner bowels of someone's existence.
Or Cindy Trim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's the big one. Sorry, not John Hannah, Cindy Trim. From the galaxies and the colossalisms.
As
the universe is rotating around galaxies of glory. Lord, that's why I want you to impart in the most inners of my, I'm a provider, and I'm feeling my stomach to find out if she's near her liver. Like, oh, in the liver area. Like, I don't know.
Right.
And I had to learn that just because I don't get called upon by man,
come on,
doesn't mean I'm called by God.
That's right.
Sometimes we want to prove ourselves. Like, no, I can do it. Trust me. I won't say nothing crazy. It's this thing where people will be like, oh, watch out. Watch what Belle gonna say. And I would get very offended by it.
Wow.
Because in my head, it's like, you have this perception of me that I will do something that will be out of character and embarrass you. And why would you think that?
Yeah.
And I had to do some self-reflection. Well, Charlene, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
What are you giving off that will make people think that? So identity is big.
That is so good.
Because you can grow up in a certain family or society or thought process of people, and now take that on. I can say, coming from New York, I had a very strong New York accent. I talk just like this. Whenever I'm around my family, I was talking just like this. I joined the Navy, and then all of a sudden, I had like a Southern swang. Technically, it's called code switching.
Yeah, code switching.
But however, it's the same thing with our attitudes and mannerisms at times.
That's true.
You get around a whole bunch of prophets and holy people, all of a sudden now you're using numbers. Like, I kept seeing the number 3 the other day. everywhere. Now you in your Bible looking for in your dream Bible, I dreamt of a red car. And now I had to learn that this is who God made me to be.
That's right.
I'm quirky. I'm different. I'm loud. I'm exciting. I'm all over the place. Does that mean that though I am made in God's image, it does not mean that God is all over the place. What it means is, because God is so vast and so creative, my little mind can't compute it all. So I'm all over the place trying to understand.
That's good.
There's no way. At one point I was like, no, God, there's no way that God could use me. Wow. And now it's like, why wouldn't he? I'm the coolest thing God could use. Over you, but I'm God's favorite. Like,
yeah.
He does. Like, and not to knock anybody else's gift, but God made me funny. Like, God made me not just sometimes. I'm funny all the time.
All the time.
You know that God has a sense of humor. And if God is funny, I'm in good company.
Yeah.
I know I'm in good company. But that whole identity thing, it was a struggle for me.
Right.
It was a struggle for me. Like, God, am I doing your will? Because I'm like, God, I'm an evangelist now. I'm praying. I call myself, I'm a prophet. I am a prophet of God. That's what I call myself. I am a prophet of God. I don't need you to give me a title. I don't need man to give me a title. God said, I'm a prophet of God.
Right.
I saw it in a dream. Like, I was in a dream, and it was a movie theater, and then on the movie theater, it had Charlene Bell as prophet of God. So I said, all right, then I'm a prophet.
Wow.
It seems silly to some people, but that's prophetic to me, because God.
That's right.
Differently. God me differently. I call them aha moments. I don't hear a big booming voice in my head. God knew I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't
hear a big booming voice either. That's not my story.
Yeah, that's not mine. It may be yours, but it's not mine. But I get these inklings. I get these feelings.
Right. Impressions.
Because it's not a voice, that can't be God. And that's a lie. God speaks to us in so many different ways. And it's a lot of times we discount our own selves, and God ain't even thinking about it.
My goodness.
Society says, you're supposed to look this way as a spirit. We discount ourselves. And God's like, I won't even look. I wasn't even counting that on the tally. I'm just thank you for saying thank you to me this morning for waking you up. I appreciated that. So what, I'm saying, you didn't wear the right collar.
Right. Right.
So I think my personal relationship with God is growing, of course.
Yeah.
God is opening my eyes to so many things, and I'm enjoying it. And I have to not get on myself and be like, God, no, I need you to talk to me like I have to allow God to talk to me, and God will only talk to me when I'm receptive.
Yeah.
And it would be very rude for him to barge or encroach on me.
That's true.
I'm not going to pay him any attention. Right? So, yeah, identity, that's a biggie.
That's the key. That's the key. And that's so beautiful that you talked about that, because that is one of the areas of really focus for me, for women in leadership, is that key of identity is so crucial, because we do have a lot of things that we have to basically sift through and allow to be destroyed instead of keeping it in that air pack container.
You have tons of hats.
Yes.
I'm a daughter. I'm a wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an auntie. I'm a best friend. I'm a mentor. I'm an evangelist. You're wearing all of these hats, and it would be wrong to say like, oh, well, you should be the same with all of them. You can't. Because different hats cause from a different a physical character change, but for you to act differently when you're in that.
Yeah.
So I make fun and I say, if anything, how you see church members like, ooh, she different. She different. I've been the same way.
Right.
I can't say that that's a bad thing. I'm consistent.
Right.
You get what you get with me. I don't put on any air.
Yes.
I don't put on any airs. I'm not throwing out prophecies. If I feel something, if I see something, if something drops into my spirit, then I say it.
Right.
But I'm not just going around prophesying. And the Spirit of God, I don't do that. I try to stay in my lane, and I drive my spiritual speed.
Right.
And if you happen to be in the road and get hit, oh well, that was for you.
I love that. I love that so much. And I love that you shared with us some of the things that once held you back from being able to walk in your authentic self. And that's really the key, is to find who you are in God. And I loved that understanding that you are the lead in this story that you're living. Everybody else is the supporting cast. And I love that so much. That is so good. So I just want to say how much I truly thank you and appreciate you for really pouring out to us, because this was a great talk. I just believe God led you every way that you went, from one question to the next. And so I just want to thank you so much for saying yes. And it started with you first saying yes to God and allowing him to take you through that process. To be the woman of God that you are, the leader that you are, that so many people can gravitate to and get something that will add value to them. Yeah. And that's the key, is what we're doing as leaders, adding value to other people. And so that's so good.
I mean, I remember, hold on, I got to see if I can find this quote. It's a quote I found. I think Jill Scott didn't say it, but she had posted it. Where is it? It's about being an influencer. And no, being a leader. I see some people like, in order to be a leader, you have are people following you, blah, blah, blah. And you can be a leader and people follow you. And they can follow you to their own demise. We seen Waco, Texas. Okay. Yep. But are you influencing people? I'm trying to find, are you influencing people?
Yeah.
To the point where it makes them want to change.
Come on.
It makes them want to do things that are different.
Yeah.
I am a creative. I didn't know the word for it before. I was saying, I'm just different. I'm quirky. I'm odd. I'm awkward. I would say stuff like that. And creative, like the new term now. But I am a creative.
Yeah.
And I see things differently. Like I dream. My dreams are colorful. Like I don't dream black and white. My dreams are colorful. I remember a few years ago, I believe it was just before my Bishop Gary T. Rogers, and First Lady Lisa Rogers informed me that I was going up for elevation from minister. No, that I was going up for elevation to minister. And I was like, no, evangelist. So, nope, it was minister. Sorry, it's minister. And I remember being in the office and I was like, are y'all sure?
Wow.
I don't know. Like, you want me to be a minister? You sure?
Wow.
Parents be like, listen, you go outside, don't you ask for nothing. I ain't got no money. Don't you go up in people's house acting like you hungry. And your child go, okay. I was the child when I got in the house like, oh, my stomach hurt. I'm so hungry. That was me.
Right.
I was that kid. And I remember asking, I was like, are you sure that you want me to be a minister at House of God Worship Center? Are you sure? And it was because I had this idea. I compared myself to all the other ministers.
Right.
Whew, these people were refined. If you had to line everybody up, it's like coming to a fancy party, but not told that it's fancy, and you there with sweatpants on.
Right.
Oh, that's me. That's this minister here. And I remember the day before I was getting ordained as a minister, I had a dream. And in the dream, there was two bodies of water. So it was a body of water here Then it was a mound of dirt and then another body of water. It was dark. The sky was just beautiful. The sky was like a nice purplish blue sky. And I'm sitting up here like, oh, wow. I'm thinking like, is this something out of, what's that movie? The Avengers? I'm like, this feels like Thanos or somebody gonna come on the way. Anyway, so I walk. Something tells me I have on this white robe, right? So I start to walk because I'm trying to get over to the other dry side. Right. But in order for me to walk, I have to walk through the water. Now I can't swim. I have a fear of drowning. Okay, I was like, oh, like, I can't do this. So something says go. It's something that you can walk, that you're not going to drown. So I'm walking. The water comes up to my neck. And when I come on the other dry side, my robe is red. So I'm like, whoa, why is my robe red? What happened? So I started off with a white robe, went through the water, robe was red. So in order for me to get to the next patch of long, dry land, I had to go through the second body of water. So I'm like, well, let me see what's going to happen here. I remember the moon was bright and everything. And I'm like, hello, doing stupid stuff. Can you hear me? So then I walk into the next body of water, goes up to my neck. And when I come out, my robe is purple. Wow. So I woke up. I was like, I wonder what that means. What does that mean? And the only thing I can think about is that in that white robe, God was letting me know that I was his, right? Going through the first mound and coming up with the red robe, let me know, Charlene, you've already been baptized and you're covered with my blood. Wow. Going through the second body of water and coming out with that purple robe, this is confirmation that, Charlene, you are royalty. Come on. Wow. When I woke up, I was like, so I am deserving of this call. Yeah. I am deserving of the call. Wow. When I transitioned from minister to evangelist, it was even worse. Because I said, is it possible we cannot do it in front of everybody? Can we just do it in private, like not in front of everyone? And it was the fear that, what if I mess up? Yeah, I'm still me. Yeah. And not that I do anything bad or anything. Right. I like to have fun. Oh my God. Now I'm going to be all stiff. You know what I'm saying? I can't play spades with the people no more. We can't go to water country and slide, and I can't invite them over my house for barbecues. Now I can't mingle with the commoners. Wow. Remember, I'm on a higher level, and now that I'm on a higher level, it's probably not best to be with them because I want them to respect me. I went on a whole trip, and I told my bishop, I was like, Bishop, First Lady, I was like, I don't know about this. I said, I don't know if I'm evangelist material. I said, is it possible I could just wait? Blah, blah, blah. All kinds of stuff to get out of it. And they was like, no, you can't, because you are an evangelist. And it was my first lady, literally, she's like that person that kicks the baby bird out the nest. I hope you fly. If not, oh well, it was your demise. And I remember being up there during the whole entire ordination and just feeling this overwhelming comfort that it was hard to explain. A humbleness that I had. Like, afterwards, my bishop was like, he said, you know why you're really ready for the call? Because you're not seeking it. My God. You're humbled by it. He said, and that humility even scares you. And I said, I just want to make God happy. Yeah. I want my leaders to be happy, but I want to make God happy. That's right. With my kids, God, are you happy? With my business, God, are you happy? With my husband, God, are you happy? Like, I want to make God happy. Like, I'm a huge crybaby. So I know for me, if I get to the gate and God is like, they like, your name's not on the list. I know me. okay, I'm gonna spaz out on him. I'm like, yo, look again. What you talking about? I would tell people, listen, I don't even have to get in. Let me be the tour guide outside the gate. And if you look past this bar, you'll see one of Michael's wings. I'll take that. I'll take that. You know what I mean? But it is truly amazing how God uses, I say, the unlikely.
Yeah.
God uses the unordinary.
Yeah.
I read a book years ago called Ordinary Men. And it talked about how God chose his disciples.
Yeah.
And how they were just ordinary men.
Yeah.
And it just let me know that, no, I don't have to come from a very long theological breed of family who know the Bible inside and out. But God took a chance on a little girl in the Bronx named Charlene, whose parents weren't as affluent, okay? Whose father was an immigrant, whose mom dropped out of high school. And he chose them to birth me.
Yeah.
And he chose me to go from home to home, place to place. And in doing that, making people laugh and telling me, oh, you're so funny. That when people were even dying at a young age, I still had the opportunity or had the capacity to make them smile. That when I'm around people, it's hard for them to stay down when I'm not 100%. So God knew everything about me.
Yeah.
So this one last thing, and I'm going to end it. Back in 2018, my church group went to the Wendy Williams show, right? That ain't a plug for her, though. September 28th, right? September 28th of 2018. All the women in our church, of our Women of Divine Excellence, went to the Wendy Williams show. Now, at that time, I was like, my identity is sealed. I know who I am, God. I know my calling. I know who I am. I have my authority. I'm and everything. We go to the Wendy Williams show. I get all of us tickets to the Wendy Williams show. I'm doing this. I can say it now. I'm doing this now because they'll like me. Not that they didn't, but look what Charlene was able to do. Oh, look. And I wanted them to have a good time. You're in my hometown.
Right.
The Wendy Williams show. The show is going on. Wendy's doing her thing. I'm overly happy, like, go Wendy, we love you, girl. Yeah, girl. Doing all this stuff. Everyone in the audience is extra. Everybody is extra. Everybody. Before Wendy Williams gets on stage, there is a segment where, to warm up the audience. So they pick people from the audience to come down, and we're all supposed to do a dance off. Now, mind you, back in the day, I was good dancing. Okay? When I gave my life to Christ, all my dance moves are shout moves. I'm sorry, they 2 steps. I can grind or whine. If I try it, it comes into this. Even if I start off like that, right? So they line all these women up. I get picked. I'm like, he's like, of course you. I'm like, oh yes, me. Okay. They loved my energy. So because they loved my energy, they was like, we want you to do the dance off and we want you to do a segment with Wendy. I'm like, bet, don't even worry about it. The music plays. These girls are twerking hard.
Oh my.
For this prize that they don't know they're going to get. I'm looking at them like, boy, hold up. I know my first lady's thinking, oh gosh, Charlene, remember you're still saved. So it gets to me and I just start shouting. Right? So my whole group like, yes, right? All this stuff like that. Wendy Williams is looking in the back. And of course, I won.
Right.
But I just got, matter of fact, we all won. But we got a little Renews It. I'm like, what kind of, I need to go on Ellen. I'm saying, you're giving Renews It out to purchase this myself. Anyway. So, but Wendy Williams was in the back watching all of us, right? And because I was the saved one, it wasn't good for TV.
Wow.
At the end of the segment, when she was supposed to call me to do the segment, She chose somebody else. So immediately, the spirit of rejection hit me hard. I'm like,
yeah.
What happened? At the end of her segment, when she's saying bye to everybody and the cameras are off, she turns to me. She says, "You, ma'am, you are annoying." So I'm with all of my church group. I'm in a live studio with people. So I go, because I'm always the character. I'm good to play it off. What, who, me, Wendy? What you talking about? She's like, yes, you are annoying. She's like, the whole time during Hot Topics, I couldn't stop looking at you. You were just distracting me. Right? So she was like, So my mom I had on this little beautiful sequin shirt with my little tulle skirt because she loves tulle. Right. And I had a pair of Louis Vuittons with me, but I opted to wear my pink sneakers. She peers over at my and go, yeah, maybe when you come next time, you may be able to be in a game. So I was like, oh, we love you, Wendy. That one incident.
Wow.
Through everything that anyone's ever said to me and blah, blah, blah. Like, why? Because I was doing everything everyone else was doing.
Right.
It wasn't until I went back in my mind, right? Even a year, 2 years later, she had said, you were distracting me. I couldn't stop looking at you the whole time during Hot Topics. I was like, that was the Holy Ghost. See, that's what that was. You felt that. That's the reason why you couldn't keep your eyes on me, because you saw that Holy Ghost aura. You saw that.
Yes.
That's the reason why, Wendy. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So there will be times, for your listening audience, there will be times where the enemy will try you, or become a circumstance in your life that is almost a replica of something that you've overcome.
Yeah.
And at that time, just how we had talked about that box that you seal, you bury, but it's not destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't destroyed in me.
Yeah.
I was just able to bury it so much. Bury the rejection of my parents, bury the rejection of my ex-husband, bury the rejection of church members, bury the rejection of friends, bury the spirit, insecure. All I did was bury that in a nice little little container and just buried it, but it wasn't destroyed.
Yeah.
And the foundation that stood on top of that box crumbled, and that box came and opened wide up the day of that show.
Wow.
So you have to be mindful. Don't bury it.
Yeah.
It needs to be plucked up at the root.
Yes.
My prayer from that day on was, God, if there's anything like me, I be really violent with my prayer. God, if there's anything like me, I want you to uproot it, burn it, throw it into the lake of fire, and then salt the earth so nothing else grows. God be like, I mean,
okay.
You said you don't want to deal with it no more, but that's how I have to.
You have to get to that place.
Very strategic and specific with my prayer.
Yeah.
God, I want you to ensure that my attitude stays in perfect peace when I get around this person. Because God, you know,
right,
I will go off. And Lord, if you are going to test me, I need you to give me forewarning. I won't fail. Because you don't want me to fail a test. So I need like a precursor. That's just how I have to talk to God. I have to be real with God.
That's right.
Honest. And listen, I talk to God. If I'm angry, I talk to God angry. I don't understand why you ain't answer this question. Like, you see me asking you. I know God's like, girl, listen. I'm going to answer you when I feel like answering. You throwing a tantrum. Then like, God, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come at you like that. You have to see my side and where my frustration is. Yeah. And I just want to do right by you. No, and then sometimes I got to hit him with your word says. He like, It says it right here in Jeremiah.
Yes. Yes.
For anybody that's listening, I just say, believe God.
Yeah.
Though you may not see him,
Mm-hmm.
see air, it's there.
Yeah.
Whenever you cut your grass and you come back in a few days, like, oh, the grass is higher. You don't sit there and watch the grass grow, but it's growing.
That's right.
So it's the same way in your spiritual walk and maturity.
Yeah.
Certain things you don't react to no more. I knew the instant I was growing in God when I would write stuff on Facebook and then delete it before I post it.
Yeah.
I said, that's God right there.
That's God right there.
I was like, oh, it's burning. So then I remember asking God, I said, God, if I'm upset, can I at least just type it, but don't post it?
Yeah.
Y'all could see the stuff. Long stuff too. Once I get it out, I'm like, all right, delete. Delete. But God is good. I thank you so much, because I know we've been trying to get together for a very, very, very long time.
Yes.
I don't hold you hostage.
No, this is wonderful.
But I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful. I'm honored that you even decide. I watched you with Real Talk Kim. I just love her. To me, she's in my head. She's my older sister. She can come to the cookout and eat the turkey. Right. Yes. And I would love more information about your inner circle. I thought that was great, having accountability. But one thing I can say, it's very important to have accountability partners.
Right.
People that will hold you accountable, that will keep you girded up in the spirit, that will pray for you, not pray on you.
Yes.
Celebrate every little win, a tinge of insecurity popped up in me this week because I saw someone who was being featured on something, and I was wondering, like, am I doing something wrong? Like, and then you called. I was like, obviously I'm not. That's not what I'm supposed to go through.
Yeah.
So God is really amazing. He puts me in places that I'm supposed to be, that's going to benefit his kingdom agenda.
Right.
So I just thank God for that.
Amen. This has been so amazing. This has blessed me. I know everyone who has watched will be blessed. Everyone who watched the replay will be blessed. This has truly been, so empowering for me. Just you sharing your story, sharing your walk with God, and even understanding this is just how God made me. My personality. This is how God made me. And as I build and I walk with my relationship with God, everything that God wants to do in and through the way he has created me is exactly what he wants to do through me. Right. Because he created us this way. And so it's just truly amazing. And every time, Charlene, that I have ever seen you in an area, you are a bright light. And so it's just so crazy, that the enemy would try to drown you with rejection so that you wouldn't be free to be who you are. And so I'm so glad that God has been able to take you through that process, that I am who I am, and God gets all the glory. So I just love it.
Apostle Brian Meadows had posted something on his page. He said, if people say that you're too much for them, it's because they're not the people for you.
Right.
All my life majority of my life, like, oh, she's just too much. Well, and I would take that offensively and kind of shrink back.
Yes.
Because I'm a Christian, hitting that meek word, like, oh, meek. So meek, I'm going to let you say whatever you want to say and talk to me in your kind of way and blah, 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 blah. And since starting last year and earlier this year, God has been dealing with me that if something bothers me, I need to say it right then and there, not hold it in. Because I would hold it in, and 5 years later, something can happen. I'm like, remember that time you said, So now I say what it is that I have to say. If it bothered me, I say it. But for anyone who feels like, oh, you too much, or people have said, you know, oh, you just too much. You are for them, and those are the people that need you.
That's good.
They're not the ones that need you. So I'm too much for a lot of people, and it's because you don't need me.
Right.
So I don't feel bad about that.
That's so good.
Who I'm not too much for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Your cup is already full. Move out the way. So
right.
Empty vessel can get filled up.
Come on.
That's how I look at it. I'm too much for a lot of people. I'm fine. You're not the ones I'm called to.
Yes.
We have that idea in mind, especially for those that are creative and those that deal with orphan spirit or those that deal with the rejection would understand that, you know, you are not for everybody. Not everybody drinks guava juice. Not everybody likes sorrow. Not everybody likes tomato juice. Listen, unfortunately, I'm just not your palate taste.
Right.
And that's fine. I'm not eating slugs because I don't have a palate for that.
No,
you may not have a palate for the gloriousness of Dr. Charlene Rainey Bell.
Come on.
Hey, but people that's okay. It's all right. You're not by yourself. You're not alone. There are tons of people out there that are just like you.
Yeah.
You just have to come out of your own rock and see them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, creatives attract creative. Awkward attracts awkward.
Right.
It's a fun experience. You don't have to be around a whole bunch of creative people because sometimes that could be disastrous because all you're doing is thinking of great things but not putting into action. So, you know, it's important. I thank God for who I am, for the growth that I have, and for the platform that He's given me.
Amen.
I don't even consider a platform. I don't consider myself a preacher. My bishop, hey preacher. I'm like, I'm a good storyteller. I don't consider myself a preacher. I like to storytell. That's what I do. I like to give you a story because sometimes preaching to people, they're like, huh. But if I can take you on a spiritual journey through the Bible, you'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like you will always remember, I am a lead role. I am the lead actor. All you are is lead actor.
Yes.
You'll remember that. Next time somebody come up to you and say something crazy, say, supporting actress.
Right. Come on. I like that.
This role is for me. Anytime, and that's funny. Anytime the supporting actors in my life started to rise up, I had to now take authority to remind them, oh no, this is my movie.
Right.
My movie. My name says starring.
Right. That's true. That's so good.
When you let people in your life know that boundary and know where they stand, you get a lot of things done. I'm going around calling everybody supporting actor, supporting actor, supporting actor. Right. And the Academy Award goes to lead actress. I want to thank all my supporting actors. For every degree I had, I want to thank all of my supporting actors. For all the times that I had to lay prostrate before the Lord and to intercede in my behalf, or every time I had to ask God for help. I want to thank all of my supporting actors. Wow. Every time I had to ask God to take this spirit of depression off me, I thank all of my supporting actors, because if it wasn't for y'all getting on my last nerve, I wouldn't go to God because of y'all.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's how I look at it.
Wow.
Every is a supporting actor. And sometimes some supporting actors have more lines than the other. And the ones that have larger roles, that's what I got to go to God constantly for.
Yeah.
Toes.
Yeah.
They keep me on my toes. So, yeah.
I love that so much. Yes, I will never forget that. And I will something happen. Oh, supporting actor. Don't worry about it, Chavon. You and God.
People get on your nerve or whatever. They talking to you crazy. That's my biggest thing. I say, my biggest line is, watch how you talk to me.
Wow.
Well, I ask, watch how you talk to me. Because words have weight. I have learned in the past year and a half, then the reason why I don't like, not that I don't like confrontation, but I try to avoid it, is that my words are expensive and I choose how I spend them. And you are not something I want to spend my words on, because my words are too expensive to just be wine. I can't do it. So I'm good with facial expressions. Like,
I love that.
Those are free. But my words are expensive. And things that we say into the atmosphere, we can't put back. And if we understood how powerful our words were, we would do things. So I no longer say I'm sick, I don't feel well, or, I'm going through blah, blah, blah. I have to change that word around, because the last thing I want is the enemy to be like, oh, you're sick, huh? And then all of a sudden I'm sick in my body. And I didn't realize that years ago, because I would say, or girl, or when people would say to me, you so stupid. And they say it as a joke. And it wasn't until recently I had to correct people. Please don't say that I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Or girl, you dumb. Don't say that I'm dumb.
Right.
Because even though, you know what I'm saying, or girl, I am dying. Don't say that.
Right.
Girl, you make me weak. No, I don't. Don't put that on. Because the last thing I want you to do is put your word curses on me. And now I'm sitting up here fighting off another supporting actor that he's a walk-on. Like with the audition, he's a walk-on. He's a fill-in. You know what I'm saying? So it's really important. It's very important. Words carry weight.
Yes, they do.
Not just, God, I want to be successful. And God, I want a husband. And God, I want... Words carry weight. And if you're not... I always have... You know what I mean? Specific with your words. Yeah. Matter of fact, if you're careless with your words, they will come back and bite you in the end. And
that's good.
So careless with those words that they will leach onto your children and your children, and you'll have a generational curse that you cannot break because of a word that you said 20 years ago. I bind that right now.
Amen.
I'm not smart enough. I can't do it. I don't think I'm pretty enough. I don't know enough. I bind all of that right now in the name of Jesus. Uproot it, throw it in the pits of hell, and then salt the earth with it so nothing else can grow. Because when you do those certain things, the enemy is ear hustling on every word you say, just so that he can go ahead and ruin your plans. You don't see yourself as a threat, but the enemy does. And just
he does.
See yourself as, I ain't got nothing. You got something that the enemy wants, and it's called your life. And though you may not have thousands of dollars in the bank, millions of dollars, a whole 5-bedroom house, or even a house or a car, you have life.
That's right.
Priceless. And if the enemy can take your life, then he won. So you have to be careful with the words that you say. You have to be careful with the things that you do, and be mindful of the words you say to other people.
Yeah.
We word curses on people all the time. Girl, she's so slow.
Now
that you've put that word curse on her, she doesn't understand why her daughter's not speaking.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't understand why your daughter's not. I don't know why she's not speaking. Oop, could it have been that 10 years ago, when you was mad, talk to your girlfriend, you was like, oh yeah, she a little slow. Her daughter is mute. Could it be your fault? So I'm very detailed in certain areas, and I try to, but it's very important. Chavon, you are beautiful, you are smart, you are courageous, you are God's beautiful daughter, you are a flower, you are anointed, you're prophetic, you're a wonderful mother, you're a wonderful entrepreneur, you're an awesome wife, you're doing a super awesome job. Even when you have tears in your eyes, you're doing a great job. That's how you talk to people.
Yeah.
That's what people need to know. Everything about, like, oh, I'm fat. Every pound on you, sexy girl. Couldn't nobody. Ain't nobody carry that weight, but
right.
Well, I think if we talk ourselves, you could kind of talk yourself through into salvation. Talk yourself out of depression. Talk yourself out of anxiety. Talk yourself out of all of those demeaning things. God can really use you. It's hard. Sometimes it's just hard to use it because now he's digging through all of the things that he said that you weren't. Like, I never said you were ugly. I never said that you couldn't be loved. I never said that you wouldn't love again. I never said that you couldn't have a business. I never said that you wasn't a prophet. I never said that you wasn't a minister. I never said that you didn't know your word. He has to dig through the mouths of
my God
that either we placed on ourselves or other people did.
Yep.
It's almost like reaction time when you have a heart attack.
Right.
If the ambulance doesn't come in a certain amount of time and you lose and you're not, and you go the body's without oxygen for at least 3 to 6 minutes, you're dead. But unfortunately, there's traffic.
My goodness.
So now they're fighting to get to you, but there's so much traffic. That's the same way in your spirit. Woo. So much traffic that is going on in your mind and in your body. God is trying to talk to you, but he keeps hitting red lights.
My goodness.
You know, so you got to remove the barriers. And if you don't know how to remove the barriers, it starts off simple. There's a whole group that we're in with raising women or something. Just talk to God and don't wait for an answer. Don't sit there like, is he answering yet? Just talk.
Yes.
Just talk. Because I can tell you, just because he does not answer doesn't mean he's not listening. A good therapist, you know what they do? They don't interrupt you.
Right. That's true.
Let you talk. Talk. Until they let you talk it out, until you get to the point like, oh, this is where it rooted from. And then they go, aha, so let's explore that.
Right.
You haven't gotten to the point in your prayers for the aha, for God to say, yeah, that's where it started from. I had to pinpoint, where did rejection start from for me?
Yeah.
Where did insecurity start for me? And I joke with my brother. I said, I blame my parents. It's their fault. It's on them. So what did I do? I forgave them.
Yeah.
And as I forgave them and learned as to why they did what they did, it was a whole generational curse.
Right.
You know? So I'm not going to keep y'all any longer because we done been on, but I hope somebody learned something.
Yes.
If you're looking for a new provider, you can always follow me on Facebook, Charlene Rainey Bell, or you can go to Convenient Healthcare VA on Facebook. You can go to our website at www.convenienthealthcareva.com. We are accepting new patients. We take all insurances, and we are doing telehealth appointments. Woo! And if you have any pads that you would like to donate to, please donate those pads. There are women who are using socks and newspaper to catch their flow. And in doing that, they're putting toxins in their body that can lead to death. So you can go to our Facebook page at Her Padded Truth, Instagram page at Her Padded Truth, or you can go to the website at www.herpaddedtruth.org. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I think it's I am Dr. Bell.
Yes.
But thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you. God bless you.
Yes. So you all definitely connect with Dr. Bell. Definitely go and connect with Her Padded Truth. If you need a healthcare provider, connect with her so she can help you. Look, you get it all. This is a merging of business and ministry. So that's what we need during this time. So again, thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. This has been so powerful, and I did not expect anything less. So I always like to pray right when we end. So do you mind if I pray right now?
Girl, come on, pray out heaven.
So, Father God, in the name of Jesus, God, we honor you today. We thank you today for this time together, this time to glean so much, a wealth of not just knowledge, but also spiritual insight for what it takes for us to go from one level to the next in our walk with you and in our identity as women of God. God, I pray right now, God, that you would just continue to pour into this woman of God. God, continue, God, to show yourself mighty and show yourself strong in her life. God, continue to favor everything that she puts her hands to. God, we thank you, God, for the more and the greater that is coming for her life. God, because she has found her niche. She has found her authenticity. So, God, we just honor her life. We honor you for everything that you've done in and through her. And God, I pray, God, for everyone who has watched this live. God, I pray, God, that you would give them the courage, that you would give them the strength, that you would give them the power, God, to begin to unlock that box so that you can destroy the things that do not belong. God, we honor you today. We bless you today. We magnify you today just for who you are. God, you are so good. Thank you, God, that on this Friday, God, we received a new pour, just what we needed on today. God, we love you, that there are no accidents in you, that there are no mistakes in you. But God, you are doing something in this season that is launching us forward. forth. So God, thank you. We honor you,
Ooh, yes, oh
bless
God.
you, and we praise you.
Yes,
In
God.
Jesus' name, hallelujah. Glory to God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Woo!
Goodness,
Yeah.
girl.
Woo! My God, my God. Woo!
My lashes sweating.
Woo! Woo!
Ooh, God is great. God is
Yes, he
great.
is. Yes, he
Thank you
is.
so much.
I love you so much.
Love
Thank
you
you
too.
again.
Woo.
Everyone, please share this. We know that someone will be blessed by this. If you have been with us through this whole conversation, you know that someone will be blessed by this. So share, share, share. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.